I'm so frustrated and so mad. I don't care if he's mad. When you're a dad, you're a dad.
Hello and welcome. Today we are talking about Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 5. So we are just coming off of that very depressing Christmas episode, and things aren't looking a whole lot better. I felt like during this episode we got a lot of confessions from Kody and the wives. So let's go ahead and get started. The show starts out over at Janelle's house. She is wanting to buy some more furniture, but her apartment is really small. So she decides that she wants to get one of those really large bean bags. And Christine already has one. So she calls Christine to see if it's a good idea and if she liked it. And Christine says, you know what, you can go ahead and have mine. I don't want it anymore. So Christine wraps the bean bag up and heads over to Janelle's house with it. And while Christine is there, she talks to Janelle about everything that is going on with Kody. So we all know that Kody and Janelle had this huge fight, and it is about the boys who he is already not speaking to. So he's not speaking to Janelle's boys, he's not speaking to Janelle. But what is really sad is finding out that he's also not talking to Savannah now. And she has had nothing to do with this. And that is what Christine starts asking about. Like, what's happened with Savannah over Christmas? And I'm going to put a clip in here of them talking.
No, he hasn't spoken to me since my birthday.
Since your birthday?
Uh-huh.
After that, there is a confessional where Christine says Kody hasn't spoke to Savannah since the beginning of December, and now it is the middle of January. Of course, that means you've had New Year's, Christmas, all of that has went by, and he has absolutely said nothing to her over the holidays because of his argument with Janelle. Savannah says she was sad and angry, but now she is just angry. And you know what? I think it's fair to say all of us at home are both of those things too. Because I was mad, but there was a point where I was watching it and I found myself getting teary-eyed because this kid does not deserve this. But it's also not surprising. That's what's so sad. And when you're listening to Christine talk during the confessionals, you can tell like this doesn't surprise her. It's almost like she's reliving what she has already went through. And you can tell it is so frustrating for her. She wants Janelle and Janelle's kids out of this situation. It's just sad to watch this whole thing and watch Savannah, who does not deserve this at all. I will say this was the first episode where I really felt like the things that I sit and say, and so many of you comment about, I felt like Christine was saying them. I felt like Christine was saying everything that so many of us are saying at home when we're watching the show. This is an easy thing to fix. She actually just flat out says it. It's so easy to fix, and he doesn't realize it. Pick up the phone. Call your kids, see your kids. That would make a huge difference. That is such a big part of this. Just seeing them and having some communication with them would be a really big step and help this. And he just doesn't get it. He has so many excuses to not see them.
And I'm in a place where I've been separated from my children because they kicked me out of my home or the space that I had with those children.
I wanted to highlight that, but he also goes on to add that he doesn't have the emotional fortitude to know what to do or say. And he also mentions that the phone goes both ways. And I know a lot of you agree with me. He should be the one reaching out to the kids. He's the adult, he's the parent, more life experience. He should be calling and talking to them where, you know what, they're young, they're stubborn, they're sticking up for their mothers. Kody is probably going to have to be the one who does the reaching out. They shouldn't have to do it all the time. But I wanted to focus on what he said there, that the wives got rid of the place that he can see the kids. Kody has a home. He has a home with Robyn. He should be inviting his children over. Like, they all know he's there all the time. Call them and say, hey, come over. We're going to cook dinner on Sunday. You know, his excuses are so crazy to me. And I guess it's one of those things where they only make sense to a polygamist, because to other people, I don't think that even sounds like a good excuse. You don't have a place to see your kids because you are separated from their moms. Where are you at? Where do you live all the time? You can still see your kids. Even if they don't want to go there and see Robyn, they're old enough they can go grab dinner with you. The younger kids can go to the park. There's no excuse. But to Kody, these are actually good. And when he says he doesn't have the emotional fortitude, are you kidding? What if all parents said that? Like, today I don't have the emotional fortitude to take care of you. Everyone has days where they're stressed out or tired or have anxiety, but you take care of your children. You're there for them. But Kody actually thinks that's a good enough excuse to justify why he didn't see his kids and ignored one of them completely over the holidays. I'm also going to put in a clip of Janelle talking about Kody not, communicating with Savannah or sending a gift. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here.
Look, I get that you're busy or whatever, but it's Christmas.
Kody Brown is not that busy. Less than half of his kids spent Christmas with him, and he's down to just one. Well, Meri was there. He's down to a wife and a half. He wasn't busy. This was a choice he made. And as far as I know, Kody does not hold a full-time job unless I'm flat out just missing something. He is not working full-time or anything. He had plenty of time to see Savannah. She also goes on, Janelle mentions that he didn't send a gift back to the rental, because Mykelti, Isabel, and Truly had went over there. He didn't even send a gift with them for Savannah. And then there he is over at Robyn's house giving all those kids mini bikes and being all excited while he's just ignoring most of his kids. I don't know. It's crazy. The beginning of this to me was just really, really sad to watch. And listening to Kody actually think he can justify not seeing his kids and treating them poorly is insane, but not surprising. Janelle talks about how her faith is playing a role in this because her faith discourages divorce. However, that is not new or surprising. She actually talked about that in the one-on-ones for season 17. So I feel like we might be at that point, maybe. Does that make sense? Like, I'm wondering how, like, what we're seeing now on this show, were they doing the tell-alls around this time? Because I feel like things are lining up a little bit when it comes to Janelle and how she's talking. I'm just guessing that, though. I don't actually know it for a fact. It just feels like things are lining up that way. But let's move on to the next part of the show. It was my favorite part. Robyn heads over to Meri's house to just talk about things. And Robyn brings up Christmas and having Isabel, Mykelti, and Truly over. So I'm going to put the clip in here.
And then Isabel and Truly and Mykelti came over.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and so that Kody could do some Christmas with them.
I didn't even know Isabel was in town.
I shouldn't have enjoyed this so much, but I did. I enjoyed it way more than I should have. You can tell that Meri is done. Meri is fed up with some of the crap that Robyn says that just clearly isn't true. I feel like we've been watching it slowly happen, but in this episode, you could see Meri was frustrated. There was no reason for them not to invite her over so she could see the girls. Why wouldn't they have called Meri? Yeah, makes zero sense. But Robyn's excuse is, there's just so many communication issues. Robyn, you're the communication issue because no one else was going to tell Meri except Robyn. Kody doesn't call Meri. We know that Christine and Janelle are not friends with Meri. No one would have called Meri except Robyn, and she didn't. And Robyn's trying to act like it's a big family issue. No. Robyn knows she's the only person that was going to reach out to Meri.
Yeah, there's not a lot of communication.
No.
Anyway.
There's not.
I had to throw it in so you could see it. Meri just knows better. Meri knows that the problem with this was Robyn. Robyn should have called her. And Meri is done. You can tell by that face. Now, she goes on and she talks more to Robyn, and there's the part where she says that she's not going anywhere. But we know that's not true. So she's just saying stuff now, whatever. I think she values her friendship with Robyn, but I think she's also seeing Robyn for who she truly is. Robyn is manipulating things. Do I blame Kody more than Robyn? Yes. But do I think Robyn is a huge part of what has went down here? Absolutely. I really enjoyed this part of the episode, not just because I felt like Meri was showing that she was really getting fed up, but also because there was a bit of storytelling about things that have happened in the past. Meri tells Robyn that at one point, before Robyn entered the family, she had felt like she wasn't being treated fairly and wasn't getting enough time with Kody, so she kept track of how much time he was with her, and it was less than 1/3 of her time. So she was being treated in a way she didn't like even before Robyn entered the picture. They've always been arguing about how his time is split up. Then she also told a story about how one Christmas, Christine got tons of gifts and she didn't get anything but a hoodie. And Kody says he doesn't remember it, but Christine does. Christine confirmed that there was a year when Kody didn't get Meri hardly anything. And she actually asked Kody, why didn't you get Meri a present? So there's always been issues in this family. But of course, Robyn has her own story. She says there was a time in Vegas where she actually says there was like a month. There was a month in Vegas where Kody didn't spend any time with her or hardly any time at all. And Christine and Kody confirm it. It's true. There was 1 month where Kody said he went and spent almost all of the month with Christine, and he was just trying to test and see if that was what it took for them to have a better relationship. Would Christine be happy if she had all of his time? And the answer was yeah. Christine was happier when she had more of his time. But then, Robyn wasn't happy and Meri wasn't getting any time with him, and neither was Janelle. So it just didn't work. But of course, that is Robyn's, her sad story is there was that 1 month in Vegas. And Christine points out, yeah, there was 1 month, but there were years and years where I didn't get hardly any time with Kody. But of course, Robyn has her own story. Now, Kody, of course, makes up excuses. He says that he spent more time at Robyn's because Robyn made it easier and better for him. He had a home office there and a space in the garage for his car. So when he was there, he wasn't always spending time with Robyn. Sometimes he was working and sitting in his spot in the garage, I guess. So that is his justification of the time in Vegas. But I just thought it was interesting to hear Robyn throw in her little story. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I know there is no way Meri took that seriously at all. Of course, as they continue to talk, Robyn is asking Meri more and more questions about what the family life was like before she entered the picture. And there's a part of me that's like, this is stupid, because who cares what it was like before it entered the picture? What's ending the marriages is actually what's been happening the last 5 years. 6 years, not what happened 20 years ago. If everything was great right now, the stuff in the past wouldn't matter, but it's that it's been bad the whole time that there's a problem. I feel like if they had worked on their marriages and it was good, they could probably overlook the past, but you can't when everything stays bad the whole time. But Robyn is really digging for information from Meri about what it was like, and Robyn is doing that thing where it's like, I don't understand. We're supposed to be committed. Wow, wow, wow. And she's like fake crying. And then during a confessional, Meri's sitting alone and says, Robyn doesn't get to say what happens between Christine and Kody. And I was like, yes, Meri, yes, that is right. It's not up to Robyn. Doesn't matter if Robyn thinks they're deal breakers. Doesn't matter if Robyn doesn't understand or if she does understand. Really, it's not up to Robyn. So her pretending all of this is ridiculous. She just needs to move on and find a different storyline. But that's what she does here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a clip of her crying out at Meri's house so that we can all see it.
Where did it go? I don't understand.
Okay, I'm being a little bit hard on Robyn. I think at one point when she was saying and doing this thing she does, because she says this a lot, I don't understand. There has to be a point where she understands, right? I feel like she's done this through a lot of episodes. We need to just, I don't know. I guess it's just to keep her on the show, right? So anyway, she is saying this, but you can tell not only am I annoyed, and I'm sure some of you are too, because she's been doing this for so long, Meri is also annoyed, because listen to how Meri responds.
Where did it go?
I don't know, Robyn. I can't answer that for you.
Meri does not look amused. Meri is not even going to sit there and go along with this. At least that's how I read her facial expression and how she was reacting. If you guys feel differently, let me know. I always say this, I get comments where people disagree with me all the time, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't see it that way. So if you disagree, let me know in the comments. But I just feel like Meri is really over Robyn doing this whole thing she does. And it is something she does. For seasons, we've watched her act like she is clueless. And Janelle's talked about it. It has to be an act. There's the point if you figure stuff out and you don't say, I don't understand, there's a point you understand. You have to, right? Meri ended up talking about something I've mentioned on this channel several times, and sometimes I read it in the comments as well. She talked about how Robyn wanted her children to bond with the other kids the way that the older Brown children had all bonded together because they all grew up together. Like, she wanted her kids to be a part of that. She wanted to be a part of the connection the wives had, and it just didn't happen. But to me, it was going to be almost impossible. You know, Christine had been married to Kody for 16 years at that point, and then Robyn enters the picture. These wives had had at least 16 years to connect with each other, raise kids together, have traditions together. Robyn wasn't a part of that. No matter how hard Meri and Robyn tried to have a connection, and it does look like they're friends, it just wasn't going to be the same connection that Janelle, Meri, and Christine had, because they all shared an experience, having all of their children at the same time, raising them together. I'm going to go as far as saying if Kody had taken a fifth wife, I think Robyn would have been closer to that fifth wife than she ever could have been to the original three, just because of that span in time where Robyn wasn't there. And Meri talks about that, how Robyn wants it, but it just wasn't going to happen that way. There was so much stuff brought up when Meri and Robyn were talking with each other. You know, Robyn is saying she really wanted a friendship with Christine and how she always tried, but jealousy got in the way. And in defense of Robyn, if you go back to those earlier episodes, there were times Christine was very honest about the fact that she felt jealous. Christine would acknowledge that that was playing a role in things, but the problem is she was feeling jealous because her husband was spending all of his time with another woman, which is something most people would feel. And then Robyn is not really acknowledging her role in it, or acknowledging that Kody should be spending more time with Christine. So Christine says during a confessional, I wouldn't have been friends with Robyn anyway. I didn't trust her. You know, she felt like Robyn really wasn't wanting the best for the family, even though that's what Robyn always said she wanted. Like, she wanted to be a part of the big polygamous family. She didn't act in a way that was benefiting them.
I'm not going to trust someone who says they want family, yet they are fine with Kody only being at their house.
I just wanted to throw in that clip of Christine talking about it because I got a little bit wordy and I thought she said it better. But there's a lot of going back and forth between Meri and Robyn talking about the things that happen. Of course, Robyn cries and she goes on a tangent about how the way they're living now is just a cheap version of their family. It looks like she might have actually really cried. I know there's always a lot of accusations that she fakes it. I felt like maybe there were real tears, but I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. After all of this heavy stuff, we move over to Christine's house, where Aspen and Mykelti are over, and they are planning Christine's 50th birthday party. Christine says that she is not inviting Meri, Robyn, Kody, or the kids that she doesn't have a relationship with. And honestly, I wouldn't expect anything else. Why would she invite them? What kind of birthday party would that be? And then after this, we go over to Meri, and she says it's been a year since her mother's passed. And Meri is driving back to the B&B. She talks about how she's tired of traveling. She's tired of the driving, and she's decided to take her clothing business and move it back to Utah. She is going to be spending more time there and less time in Flagstaff. And, you know, I appreciate Meri's honesty about her relationship with Kody. She says she's not even worried about telling Kody because he's probably not going to care at all. But she does worry about telling Robyn because she thinks Robyn is going to have a harder time with it than Kody will. I'm going to throw in that clip that TLC has been using to imply that Meri was actually ready to leave the family. I'm going to throw that in right here.
Peace out, sayonara, bitches. You know what?
Unfortunately, that was not Meri saying goodbye to Kody and Robyn. That was actually Meri talking about how they would probably say goodbye to her when she tells them she's going to be spending more time in Utah. So I found that a little disappointing. I hope when Meri does finally say bye to Kody, she says something awesome, because she has had years and years of practice at being single because Kody was ignoring her all the time. So when she goes, I hope there's not very many tears and a lot of sassiness, because this is so long overdue. Like, I'm just ready for it. And I hope she has practiced saying an awesome goodbye, because I feel certain Kody has practiced saying something about Meri. I think he has known this was going to happen at some point, and just knowing how Kody is, he has something to say. So I hope Meri has whatever she is going to say ready as well. So that is it for this episode. That is where it ends. Of course, I love reading your guys' comments. I don't always respond to all of them, but I do enjoy reading them. Even if you disagree with me, that's okay. My only request is that you are nice to each other in the comments. We don't do any name calling, and we also don't pick on the minor children that are on the show, because that is not nice. These kids didn't ask for this, their parents did. So we don't pick on children. But that is it. Go ahead, leave your comments, and like and subscribe if you haven't already.